Okay, so this is what your stud frame should look like once you've finished it. Make sure you've put the angled part on there with the architrave. Make sure you've put some holes in the noggins for the electrics to go in. That's really important before you put the plasterboard on. Then put the plasterboard underneath your frame and just draw around it with a pencil, like so. And then you're going to just use a ruler to go over your lines, take it right down to the edge. We're going to cut these parts off, so you need to have the line reaching both edges. So you'll have a larger section on the end and then sort of a thinner section down the side here. Then with a steel ruler and a Stanley knife, you're going to very carefully score the line. So scoring the line first, and then what you'll do is you'll go over that again to get a deeper score. So you can take your ruler away once you've done the score line, and then you go over your line again. I would do this about 3 or 4 times to get a nice deep score in the plasterboard. And then put some pressure on it and just take it off. So with your hand, just sort of push down on it and it'll release. Now it will stay on hanging off the paper on the other side, so just cut that away. And then you'll do the other side as well. Now this piece is a little bit thinner, so it will be harder to take off than the thicker part. So again, just carefully with the knife, scoring first, and then going over it again 3 or 4 times to get a nice deep score. Then use the edge of the table this time, line up your mark on the edge of the table, and then just applying some pressure to just take that piece away. And then again, just sort of cutting through the back paper part at the back to release it. Now you want to also make a piece that's going to cover this angled part here. So measure it first of all. And then with your leftover plasterboard, you should be able to get a piece the right size for that part of the stud frame. So measure it, draw your lines in. Now I would take off the bit that is sort of the messiest edge. So kind of leave your cleanest edge and take off the part of the messiest edge. So scoring carefully. And then going over again 3 or 4 times for that deeper score. Then again using the table edge to take off that piece. Again, it's really thin, this bit, so it will be a little bit harder to take off. And then place it on, make sure it all fits. Now you want to use the drill, okay, the cordless drill. Here I'm just using the button to set it into the correct way round. You don't want to put it in reverse. And then I'm also going to adjust the torque settings. So I'm going to take this down to 4. That means that I'm not going to put too much pressure on the screw when I'm drilling it in, okay, screwing it in, because we don't want it to just go straight through the plasterboard. It's a really soft material and you don't want it to go too deep. So taking the torque settings down is going to stop it from just going straight through the plasterboard. So you can see I'm just using the cordless drill to screw in some plasterboard screws all the way around the edge, evenly spaced. I would put about 4 or 5 plasterboard screws in the long side and about 3 in the short sides, and that's what it should look like when you are finished.